How do you do, friends? How are you? It's Sunday. And what's happening is that the topic of shunning has begun to take hold on the internet. This is I identify as an attack helicopter t-shirt since I don't wear any other label. All right. And what's happening is that members of sects and denominations that practice shunning, the Amish and Jehovah's Witnesses, who have been kicked out, not because of their sins, not because they harmed anyone or they taught wrongly, but just because they asked too many questions. Those people are now coming forward and questioning the outcomes that they are receiving from shunning itself. Now, there are many psychologists on the internet who are talking about narcissism. And from the point of view of a religious shunning, narcissism, it's such a great word, is the deadlocked certainty that a religious, whether Jewish or Christian or some other covenantal individual has, that they are righter. They are righter than you. They are righter than them. And they're part of the chosen. They're part of the real members of the kingdom of God. All right. They're the real ones, these chosen ones who are righter than everybody else. I had a mother-in-law like that. Okay. And she said to me one time when we were discussing ecclesiastical dogma, she was a Bible Belt Baptist. She said, "Now, don't you contaminate my mind with thinking like that." And in her mind, the ecclesiastical dogma is what defined her identity as a follower of Jesus. For her, it was the Trinity. For another, it's the immortality of the soul. For another, it's the practice of the Sabbath. For somebody else, it's the priesthood. For somebody, everybody has their hot button. Everybody has their hot button. And for me, I was a witness, one of Jehovah's Witnesses for 12 years, and I enjoyed it. I really liked it. I had too many responsibilities. I was just spread too thin. I had my mother to care for, and my marriage to care for, and my job to care for, and my kids to care for, and the ministry, and it was just too much. So I wrote a letter to society, and they wrote a letter to the local congregation, and boom, you're out. And after that, nobody in the congregation would even greet me. And then my own children pulled away because I haven't changed that much, and they didn't want to consider themselves to be part of a family in which beliefs like that cause such pain. So they pulled away. And now I have 5 kids and 9 grandchildren I never see, because I'm considered to have a wrong worldview. And so I'm absolutely subject to shunning. I never have a holiday with family. I never have a vacation with family. I have 5 children, ages 34 to 57. And I see 1 or 2 of them once or twice a year. And family simply dissolved and went away. Although I didn't abort my children, I wasn't a drug addict, I wasn't a shoplifter, I wasn't a felon, But because my way of thinking was too far over the edge, here I am in my 70s alone. Now, that is actually a mixed blessing, because it has given me the opportunity to delve in and to think about and to study and to broaden my perspective, so that I'm not just an ex-witness. I'm not just an Episcopalian. I'm not just somebody who can share experiences with most people in most churches. I can walk into a Catholic church and know what's going on. I can't accept communion there, because the only people who can accept communion there are those who've been through 2 years of their catechism. I can't say a word in the Mormon church, because the only people who can say a word in the Mormon church, even though I'm a Christian, is those whom they have baptized and put through their program. Okay, you have to be put through their program in order to be considered a Christian of their stripe. And so whereas you are not shunned in another church, you are never a member. You can never speak up. You can never ask a question. And that's what the process of shunning is designed to eradicate, is asking questions, fundamental questions of the Council of Nicaea, the Council of Trent, the Pope, and Protestantism. Asking basic questions. Why didn't things work out the way Jesus said they would work out? Why don't we have a community out of one purse like Jesus established? Why are we fighting over ecclesiastical dogmas and playing the divide and conquer game that the media and the American Psychological Association and the CIA have set up for us? Why are we playing their game? You see where I'm going with this? Okay. Shunning is a thought control system out of the array of thought control systems. It's just another one. And there's really no effective remedy for it except the experience of rejection and overcoming that experience and transcending that experience for not only the shunnee, but also the shunner. The shunner, they have to deal with it too. All right. Because learning that spirituality isn't just a bunch of beliefs you carry around in your head. It's about how you treat people who do good things, how you treat people who are neutral to you, and how you treat people who do bad things. You have different methods for different approaches to different people that keep the peace. And that's what Jesus taught. He didn't talk to the Samaritan woman the same way he talked to the woman who was accused of adultery, or to the centurion, or to the Pharisees. He knew how to get into the heads of people that he approached to say to them, there really is a better way. There really is a better way to handle these situations where two people are wanting the same thing, or where one person is upset over a trifle or whatever. There really is a better way to handle our relationship so that just getting along is what happens. And shunning is what happens when those techniques, those methods are pushed aside. It takes a strong mind to realize that a truth is a valuable lesson. Yes, it's a cloud, but it has a silver lining. And so we live in a world of shunning. We send out our resume with a cover letter and we get stiffed by 90% of the corporations we send our letter to. We send email messages to people we're interested in, and they stiff us. They don't return the message. We send letters of protest or objection to our senator or representative or to the president or to whoever it is that is responsible for the outcome that we're not seeing. And there's no answer to it. There's no answer and no answer and no answer. But what I have found after 20 years of being summarily shunned is that I get an answer from within. I get an answer from the first one I sought an answer from. Jehovah is what I call him. I get answers from Jehovah, from God. And when there's a problem in my life, even though there's no one around me to, quote, help me deal with the problem, I go within and pray about the problem, and the answer comes. The answer comes. The remedy comes. The solution comes. And so I'm not dependent on the people who shun me. And I wanted to share that with my viewers, that you are coming to accept and listen to my story, but you're not going to depend on me, because I'm not always going to be here. And you are going to find your own strength and your own will to carry on the struggle of this tribulation and apocalypse and whatever's going on. You're going to have to do it on your own. And I'm just here to tell you, get quiet, listen to some 85 hertz or 285 hertz or 432 hertz, whatever tone calms your biology down, and pose your problem, and the answer will come to you. Because God has not left biology. God has not left chemistry or biochemistry or sacred geometry or gravity or astronomy. God has not left science. And so the scientific practitioner, people who propagate scientific dogma, can just go to hell, okay? Because God has not left science. And we're going to be all right. We're going to get through this being shunned by people we loved and cared about because they don't think we think right. All right. And God alone knows whether the stinking thinking is theirs or ours. Let him figure that out. All right. I enjoy these videos by ex-Jehovah's Witnesses and ex-Amish who are struggling like I am with the problem and the process and the alienation of having been shunned. I hope you now understand something that maybe had never occurred to you. Okay, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.